Man, that was heinous. The 92% believed him when he said what he would do, but our black voices fell on deaf ears. Yes, yes, they did. Deaf, arrogant, hateful, racist ears. And for those of you who need a reminder or who don't know what it is that she's talking about, here's the video.
Here. TrumpGaza shining bright, golden future, a brand new light. Feast and dance, the deal is done. TrumpGaza #1. TrumpGaza shining bright, golden future, a brand new light. Feast and dance, the deal is done. TrumpGaza #1.
Donald Trump posted that video to his social media accounts last night. It's up right now over on his Instagram page. And a lot of us tried to warn Palestinians, American Palestinians, specifically those who were most vocal out there in Dearborn, Michigan. We tried to warn them. We tried to tell them this was the plan. We tried to tell them that the best option from the two choices for president that we had was Kamala Harris. And black women, 92% of us, black men, 80% of them, we came together and rose up to vote for the betterment of all black and POC communities. We talked about it relentlessly, what Donald Trump's plans were. We told people, specifically the Palestinian community, the Muslim community, what Donald Trump's son, Jared Kushner, said in an interview. He said months before the election that Gaza was prime beachfront property and that his plan would be to move all of the people out and then rebuild Gaza. We talked about it relentlessly, repeatedly. We were trying to get people to hear our warnings because we know this racist system over here in the United States. We know the racist players involved. We know the colonized mind of the people in charge here in the United States. We know this oppressive, lying ass system. We know it. And we tried to warn people. And what they did, instead of heeding our warnings, instead of listening to us, they got louder. They overtalked us. They talked down to us. They disrespected us. They tried to dehumanize us. They went out to Kamala Harris rallies and they shouted at her and they protested her out on social media streets all across the different apps. They protested and talked about how both parties were the same. They called Kamala Harris a genocidal enabler. They call her the Holocaust genocider or something like that. They called us baby killers. They called us supporters of genocide because we were choosing to vote for Kamala Harris because we knew she was the better choice for black and brown people in this country across the board. They told us to keep Palestinian names out of our fucking mouths. They said black people were their colonizers. They told those people who were supporting Palestinians who had the watermelon in their bios, they told them, take the watermelon out of your bios. Meanwhile, other genocides were happening across the world, and they weren't speaking up about those black people that were being genocided. They had demands of Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris tried to meet those demands. She met with the uncommitted movement. She repeatedly called for a ceasefire in Gaza, and they still held her accountable for Joe Biden's wrongdoings and Joe Biden's policies. Hell, the policy of the United States in general. Every time Kamala Harris would meet a demand, they would move the goalpost. Yeah, but they required none of this from Donald Trump. They had no made up names for Donald Trump. They weren't at Donald Trump's rallies. They weren't using social media to talk about Donald Trump. No, they had all of their ire was for Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris, who was the vice president and truly held no power. Yeah, they had their rallies where they rose up to punish Kamala Harris. Yeah, that was their words. We must punish her. And then they went on to say, if you vote for Kamala Harris, don't be expected to be welcomed by my community. Vote for Jill Stein, vote for no one, or vote for Donald Trump. That's what they said. And everything that we have repeatedly tried to warn them about, well, yeah, let's watch the video again.
Tunnels coming to set you free, bringing the light for all to see. No more tunnels, no more fear. TrumpGaza is finally here. TrumpGaza shining bright, golden future, a brand new light. Feast and dance, the deal is done. TrumpGaza #1. TrumpGaza shining bright, golden future, a brand new light. Feast and dance, the deal is done. TrumpGaza #1.
And it's crickets coming from them. You don't hear them coming out with any jazzy, snazzy names for Donald Trump. You don't see them protesting outside of Mar-a-Lago or the White House, in regards to what Donald Trump and his plans are for Gaza. You don't hear them on social media talking about Donald Trump and what his plans are for Gaza. You don't see them coming together to make some sort of plan. They were all about the revolution. Yeah, I don't see any revolutioning happening. Oh, but they do have time to continue to talk shit about Kamala Harris. They do have time to continue to try to talk shit about content creators like myself. They do have time to try to dox Tory Greer. Yeah, that's what they have time for. All the time to talk about the Democrats, and the Democrats are not the one in power. Nobody's seeking for Jill Stein or Cornel West or any of those Arab leaders who were, putting these protests together to punish her. Yeah, you don't hear anything coming from them. Yeah, all of those pro-Pally supporters, yeah, they're silent now. Meanwhile, content creators like myself who have been standing true to calling out Republicans and Democrats and policies that they are bringing forth that are wrong for us as a community, yeah, we're still doing what it is that we do. Yeah. And when you say how heinous it is very heinous. We did not have to be here. It did not have to be this way. We knew how cruel this man can be. We knew it. We knew how cruel the MAGA nut base is. It did not have to be this way. We tried to stop it. And unfortunately, their anti-blackness, it won.